Hey, have you been here before?
No.
Oh, welcome. So, what's this paper for?
It's a short-term response for my English class.
Oh, and it's English 125.
Yep.
And then, did you just finish your freshman year, or?
Or no, I'm an incoming freshman.
Oh, you're incoming freshman. Oh, so you're starting early. That's really cool. So what's the paper about?
So my English 125 section is about food politics and its introduction into that. And what I'm writing about is I was given an article and I have to make an argument out of it and make a claim and choose a side to my article.
So, what was the article about?
So the article was about, the title of the article was Cyprus Jobless Turned to Illegal Songbird, and it was about how, the author was kind of bashing the poachers who were like the people in Cyprus who were hunting these songbirds, and I made this my stance was that it's not their fault and that they shouldn't be bashed because I listed reasons why that they shouldn't be bashed and so on.
Okay, cool. So, something we like to do here is have you read your essay out loud so that we can kind of see how it sounds, like you typos.
Okay.
Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to take notes on a notepad because I have a terrible memory.
All right. After reading Cyprus Jobless Turned to Illegal Songbird by USA Today, I agree that the spike in the number of trappers on Cyprus over the course of 5 years is unacceptable. However, I do not believe these people should be criticized for their actions. After joining the European Union in 2004, Cyprus was forced to crack down on the black market of trapping songbirds. With a depressed economy and a 50% unemployment rate, many Cypriots have turned to illegal trapping. To make matters worse, the European Union refused to bail out Cyprus in one of their worst economic periods of history. Laws that Cyprus needs to follow to stay in the EU have hurt the majority of their people because it now puts more pressure on the government to stop the trapping industry. This industry has served the people culturally. This everlasting tradition dates back to a 16th century English traveler named John Locke, who recounted how he witnessed hundreds of bottles of pickled Embellipulia being exported to Italy during a visit to then Venetian-ruled Ireland in 1553. From that point on, trapping songbirds has been passed down to the next youngest generation. Thanks to their weak economy, many people in Cyprus have become jobless. These people end up pursuing the legal act of trapping because the cash enticement to trap birds remains high. There's no other field or line of work that creates a consistent capital flow to these people's families. During desperate times, people have to take desperate measures to be able to afford basic necessities like paying for their house mortgage, electric bill, car insurance, and etc. The EU has been stepping on the back of everyday working families who strive the most off the trapping industry. What should Cyprus do to get back on their feet? A possible solution to aiding Cyprus's damaged economy is to regulate the trapping market across the country. This would create more new jobs, reduce the number of people trapping songbirds, and take advantage of an island resource. Unfortunately, politicians had let trappers down during the country's EU membership talks by not asking to allow limestick trapping as a traditional form of hunting. The EU should take responsibility for the increasing number in poaching because a compromise between them and the trapping market in Cyprus would have saved the small country's economy. When I was 5, I would go fishing every weekend with my dad and brothers. Whoever caught the most fish would get to ride shotgun on the way back. In the beginning, I never wanted to go because I would be stuck with my annoying dad and weird brothers, and I sucked at fishing. I caught my first fish 1 month into the fishing season, and then I really got into it. I started to value being with my dad and brothers. This event had brought all of us together. In Cyprus, this fishing trip would resemble a trapping trip. As my father taught me to fish, fathers in Cyprus taught their sons to catch songbirds. Michael, like his father, would wake up and go out to set traps and would think of nothing else. I never heard of someone getting criticized for killing a fish. Why can't there be the same type of reactions of these songbirds? Also, Michael said that Embellipulia aren't going to disappear. There's so many of them. Why should these people get blamed for keeping traditions? In the past 5 years, people from Cyprus have come under criticism for their increased trapping of songbirds. Many people don't realize that Cyprians have run out of options to fix their broken economy. It's the people's fault. The It's not the people's fault the EU won't come to a compromise on making trapping illegal. Also, this is their culture. Trapping has been a part of their culture for the past 300 years. Everyone should look into both sides of this debate because they will realize that poachers are being wrongfully criticized and perceived as greedy villains.
Nice. I like how you went really in depth into your arguments. I felt like I learned a lot about the issue from it. And it wasn't just these vague things, so that was really good. I'm curious, what do you think is strong about it yourself as you read it?
As I read it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I had a lot of facts here I would say.
Yeah.
I would wish I could maybe clean up most of the paragraphs to make them flow a little better. And I think that having a personal experience would if we fixed it up, would be made really good into the essay.
And quick question about that. Is it okay to do first person in this essay?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure because some professors are a little more than others on that. Perfect. So do you want to look at that part of it first, or is there a specific part you want to start on?
Yeah, can we just start from the beginning and just go through it?
Yeah,
okay.
Okay, so the first paragraph, so it's an argumentative piece, right?
Yeah.
So where would you say your thesis is?
I would say right here, I do not believe these people should be criticized for their actions.
Is there a reason you made it in the beginning?
What?
Or put it in the beginning of the paragraph? Right there, organizationally?
Yeah, I feel like that's how I've been accustomed to do that through high school. So I might, if I moved it down a little bit, maybe it would make that sentence flow a little better.
Or as a reader, what happened was, I'm not too familiar with the whole Cyprus issue, and you gave a lot of background right afterwards, right? This didn't feel too much like an argument. I don't know if I was supposed to. As a reader, I saw it as a lot of facts right here.
Yeah.
So for me, when I heard the thesis, it felt a little confusing at that point, only because I didn't know what it was as a reader.
Okay.
So I felt I don't know, what would you think if you put kind of the background and then
my thesis? Or
yeah.
Yeah, okay, I like that.
Whichever way.
Yeah, definitely. So do you think that how would you or how would I move the thesis down?
How do you think you could?
Could I maybe just, where it says here, I do not believe these people should be criticized for the actions, maybe I should just end the period, end the sentence here, go into detail, and then my argumentative would be at the bottom?
Yeah.
All right.
And that's kind of a traditional place to put a thesis, at the end of your first paragraph. I feel like a lot of times people are just accustomed, when people skim through essays, okay, the thesis is going to be right there. And then when it's not, it's a little...
So should I just, I guess, make this one, end the sentence here and then just bring this down? All right.
And then, so where do you think do you think this is all summary, or where is their argument within this paragraph? Where do you go from stating facts to arguing?
A lot of this is fact, I would say. So I don't know, I tried when I was writing this, I was doing this so I could just give him background information. He went over this with us, but give him more information to what is going on, and this is what are the reasons that are leading towards people being jobless and so on.
Yeah. So this whole paragraph you would say is that then, right?
Yeah.
So even ending it then, saying however, and given all of this, I do not believe. You know what I mean? That kind of gets at your argument. So I know the facts.
Yeah.
And now there's the argument.
So I should be given all the facts and then my thesis, or okay.
Or just as a reader, I mean, I always try to put myself in the shoes of as if I never read this before, I didn't write it, and if I were reading this essay, what would make most sense to me, and kind of trying to make it a little more unbiased.
I could maybe say, given all the facts, I do not blame these people for going ahead with or taking part in these illegal activities.
Yeah, I like how you said that. Because you're acknowledging them.
I don't. Would it be in these or in legal activities?
What's the sentence?
Given all the facts, I don't blame these people for taking, or I don't blame Cyprus's people.
Yeah, so in the thesis, I always try to get like really specific.
Okay.
So you don't really leave room for questioning.
Okay. Cyprus's people for taking part in illegal activities.
Yeah.
All right. And then where would should I just cross this off right here?
You can do that. And then another question in the first paragraph is that there's a lot of good data, but is your audience primarily, who are you supposed to be writing this to if you're envisioning?
My teacher, or like.
So how much data do you think needs to be provided, given your audience's knowledge, to set up your argument?
Yeah, not that much, I guess, because he knows a good amount of it. Like.
So what do you think is most important for the argument that you're making?
Well, the two big parts for me are the economy and culturally, so I feel like having this in here is important. Do you think this really matters, or I don't know, I'm trying to like...
It's about what you think, also. Because it could be that everything here is important, also. It's just a question I like to ask.
I'm okay. I'm okay with having this because.
Yeah. So whatever you think makes sense.
Yeah.
Alright, perfect. Do you have any other questions about this paragraph before we move on?
No. We can move on.
Okay. So then this one you were talking about the weak economy and people have become jobless. So, can you summarize this paragraph for me? Like, what do you think your main point was? Like in a one sentence.
So the people of Cyprus, they are all moving to the trapping field because the economy has gone broke and there's no other major source of income for families.
And why does that matter?
Because they need to continue to, I would say, be able to pay for necessities and for their own belongings.
And then how does that relate to your thesis that you don't agree with? Or you don't blame the people?
Because the people need to because the people have nothing else to do, or the people can't do anything else. They need to provide for their family, so they have to do some pretty shady acts to just put food on the table.
Yeah, so do you ever explicitly go back to this idea in this paragraph?
I say these people end up pursuing the legal act of trapping because I feel like I could add here that these people are not, that these people shouldn't be the ones to blame for all what's going on, or figure shouldn't be blamed because I already said it here, but these people aren't the suspects of this huge crime.
No, I like that. So you're adding kind of that deeper meaning to it, right? And then also relating it back.
I'm trying to figure out where I should put it, though, because I feel like when I have all my facts here and I'm getting into detail, I don't want to just mess up the flow.
Right. So it's important also in these argumentative pieces that you have the facts, but you also have to show people why they're relevant. So I could say all the facts in the world.
Yeah.
And they could, you can kind of connect the dots, but the whole idea is that you don't want the reader connecting the dots, having to go through that. If you explicitly tell them, it kind of proves your point more because you're arguing in the end and you want to take a stand.
Yeah.
So when you're doing this, instead of just having all the facts, kind of trying to get at the why it matters. So when I ask you what does this mean? Why do I care about this? Kind of questions. It kind of gets at that analysis that you're looking for, and then in the end, I kind of look at it as a ladder kind of thing. So you start with the facts, and then you say why the facts matter. You analyze them a little bit, and then why do the facts matter in context of your argument, and kind of bring it full circle. So you're showing more than the fact that it happened, but you're kind of showing essays that are kind of getting at more than just what happened, but they're supposed to give just this bigger perspective on it a lot of the time. And then also, you are arguing in the end.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to be and this is why I'm right, by the way. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So we can look at how we can do that in this paragraph as an example. So you start with, thanks to work economy, blah, blah, blah. These people end up in illegal trapping houses because it remains high. There's blah, 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 gives some capital flow in these during desperate times. People have to take desperate measures.
Is that a little too cliche? Like, I don't know. It might be, right?
What do you think it's cliche?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess you kind of answer your own question there. That's why reading out loud sometimes gets at those kinds of things.
Maybe I can, like, I feel like that's where I should maybe say that why, like, or would this be for me not, like, saying why that these people shouldn't be blamed because of this?
Exactly. So you kind of had the urge here already to kind of go into the analysis, but you didn't fully know how.
I really don't, okay.
So if you look for those kinds of moments where, like, you could tell that you're going there, like, that's where you can kind of put in this, like, deeper, like, meaty argument.
These, trying to...
take your time.
I really don't know.
Okay, so what were you saying before? Like, let's pretend, like, not even looking at words.
Okay, I was saying that they really can't, because they can't afford, like, in any other field, basic necessities, that they kind of have to break the law because that's the only way for them to put the food on the table for their families. And
exactly.
I could say that, I could say that right there then.
Just how you said it.
Okay. These people have no other way to put food on the table for their families. Okay, and then this line, I should just, too cliche, should I delete it? Or?
It's up to you in the end. I mean, it's your essay. But if you think it's cliche, then you can delete it. And the question is, if you delete it, like, what were you trying to get at with that sentence? Like, what's
I was, like, trying to make the point where how, like, desperate the times are there. And maybe I could add a sentence clearing that up instead of making it too cliche.
And kind of getting it more specific. Because the thing with cliches is that they can apply to anything. But you want to apply to this specific thing you're saying and kind of getting narrower with your argument, with your analysis. So we can even go off of the sentence you just wrote. So they have no other way to put food on the tables
for their families.
So what does that mean?
It has been a very... It has been tough for many people to actually take part in illegal trapping, and the only way they do it is to benefit or...
So it goes back to motives, right? And is it good motives or bad motives?
It's a good motive.
It's a good motive. So you're making the argument that they can't be blamed because their motives in the end are good, right? That's kind of what you're getting at?
So these people...
If you need to, sometimes what I do, instead of like trying to get the wording right, I'll just write in bullet points, like dash, like, oh, I want to get at this point, and think of the words later. Because sometimes when you try to like make things sound pretty, they never sound pretty. It's kind of get in your own head. But if you have the ideas there, as long as you know what you're saying. Or another thing that I'll do sometimes is I'll take my phone out, and if I'm having really bad writer's block, I'll just start talking, and I tell myself, like, you have to talk for the next 5 minutes, no matter what you're saying. And I'll, like, record myself so I get the wording right there, and I'm just talking. And then you can kind of write down the good words, and, like, sometimes it forces yourself out of that mentality if writing itself is tough. That's another thing I do. Cool. So you have the good motives, and you're going to connect that
to
that your argument, right?
Yeah.
So going from the facts to the analysis to your thesis.
Yes, and then how?
And then so the EU, blah, 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 who strive. So what's the EU? Like, how does
European
that relate?
Union.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I know. But like, how does it relate to your argument? Or like, at least in this paragraph, what's the connection?
Because I feel like they have very tight control over their economy, and they're kind of just, they're gripping onto it while like this, they're gripping onto the trapping industry because they're not really ready for it to like be legalized and regulated.
So then how does that relate to these desperate families?
Because the EU is, I would say, indirectly hurting these families with their decisions against their decisions to, their laws to keep like bird trapping illegal in Cyprus.
So then it's forcing the families into these desperate things, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of came first. It's kind of a cause and effect, right?
Yeah.
So then is there a reason you put it after this part?
I guess not. No idea. So, would it be these people have another way to put food on their tables? Would this be the sentence before, one sentence before it?
Yeah, I feel like that would make sense. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you.
And then kind of painting that cause and effect, like, I don't know, is it corruption on the EU's part? Is it just like lack of preparedness? Are they placing blame on the wrong person, do you think? Like, what do you think?
I think that
connection?
The EU has just too much power over Cyprus, and so I'm gonna write with the tightening grip over Cyprus's economy.
Yeah.
The EU is hurting the everyday working families by not regulating the trapping industry.
Yeah, and I like how you said before, like, why they're not regulating, right? You said that it was because they're just not ready, right?
Yeah.
And then you can even get at this kind of clash between, like, government and people, right?
Yeah.
And there's another level to your argument and another level to your analysis, right?
Why not? Alright, so cross this off right here because I just am moving this up.
Yeah.
And this is gonna go. So this would be 2, 1. And then I feel like this last sentence right here is gonna lead into my next paragraph.
Yeah. No, I like that because you kind of set that natural transition. So then as you're reworking this, if you add, instead of just these sentences alone, but add within them and in between them some more analysis, so painting the struggle between like the motives of the people and the motives of the government, how when they don't align, like what do you do?
Yeah, okay.
And stuff like that, and those kinds of deeper analysis, it's gonna really just take the facts and put them to a new level, and also
So for each like sentence I just created, I should have a couple more sentences with it to.
Something I always heard, and this is about quotations, but I feel like it can be applied to a lot of different kinds of essays, is that for every kind of fact or quote you present, you should have 2 or 3 lines analyzing it.
Okay.
Just to get the ratio more towards analysis than towards fact. And a way to visually do that if you're a visual person, is sometimes when I'm going over my essays, I'll take highlighters and I'll highlight all my evidence in one color, all my summary in another color, and all of my analysis in another, and you can kind of see the ratios like firsthand. And you want to move to a place where you have, obviously you need evidence, but where you have a lot of analysis. And that's a place when you're in the final revisions.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
And just kind of pushing ideas forward. Okay. So, do you want to summarize this one?
So right here, I would just give my opinion, a solution to help the Cyprus's economy and what the EU should do to help them out. And I would say that they should regulate the trapping songbird industry, and this would create more jobs, new jobs that would kind of be used in the field, and that the EU should come to a compromise, because this one industry would really save Cyprus's economy and help them out.
You know, I like how you related the solution to what you were talking about in the other paragraph, and how it's a direct correlation. And like you said, it flows right into it, which is really strong. Just a question about the assignment. Are you arguing like for or against it? Are you supposed to be giving these solutions or
no, what I did is, so I'm arguing for like saying how the poachers shouldn't be the ones who are blamed for this, and that it's not their fault that they're going ahead and doing this illegal activity. And I offered, like, because since they're so divided at the EU level and the Cyprus level, that a solution would be coming to a compromise, because it's going to benefit both groups of people.
Okay, and then here you were kind of going back into...
This was, this is for me, I was just trying to prove the point that poaching isn't as bad as people, like, in my opinion, I'm trying to compare it with fishing, and it's very similar in my opinion, because it's like you're just killing a fish and killing a bird. I feel like it's the same thing in my opinion, and I tried like just giving a personal experience to maybe put the reader in my shoes.
Yeah.
So you could go give him a little story.
I like that little rhetorical move. So was there a reason you put the solution before this?
I really You're right. I think that this would be better as the 4th paragraph, because by me just hinting, giving my opinion of what they should do, I feel like that would be more beneficial towards the closing, and that this could go very smoothly right into the closing paragraph.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking too, because as a reader, you go from, it's not their fault, it's not their fault.
Yeah.
Here's the solution, and it's still not their fault. Mm-hmm. Do you see how it kind of gets the flow a little confusing?
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like it's thrown in there when that feels a lot like an ending paragraph right there.
Yeah.
Oh, here's my resolution in the end, because I clearly showed you that it's a problem.
Yeah, so I should just move, this would be my, I could just do 4, 3, all right, and then let's just, you can go over this and that.
Which one do you want to go over first?
This one.
Okay, so the possible solution is to regulate trapping our goods, create new jobs, reduce them. So, I'm curious, how do you think it relates more specifically to the issue they're having? So yes, it would add new jobs and reduce the number of trapping, blah, 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 but you painted the struggle of the EU's incentives and the people's incentives, right? So how does it get at that?
So it's what I was because I'm trying to say how the EU hasn't really been able to do anything about it. In this quote, I said politicians had let down trappers by not, the EU was not. There's another quote that says, by the EU, that says after this quote, that there was no way that the EU was going to go back and revisit this meeting. Yeah. So I feel like maybe I should have kept that, kept in this, the quote, because I would have showed how EU wasn't willing to really change the traditions and laws of Cyprus with trapping songbirds. Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, so then why do you think this will work if they're not willing?
I was just trying to show how like this could be a very easy possible solution that would help the people, but the EU is against helping regulate their economy.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to show how, like, it's the situation is they could easily do this, but the EU, for them being stiff and for them not being able to make a compromise, is the reason why these people have to end up doing this legally.
Oh, okay. So then you're not offering the solution. It's already been offered, but the EU is the one, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that you said at the end you were... So that's painting it more of an argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So because, yeah, when I read that, I was thinking like, oh, he's offering a solution, like this is a resolution to the whole thing. But then the way that you're talking about it is more, oh, like they're not doing it because of this and this and this, and that's bad because of this, which sounds more like an argument.
Yeah.
So you can even like work on like your topic sentence here and just saying like another issue surrounds the EU's unwillingness to blah 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 or to like take on the solution or propose solution or something like that that paints it as more of this argument instead of you thinking of this new solution. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay. And then I said this, unfortunately politicians let down by not allowing, and then the EU should take responsibility for the increasing number because a compromise between them and the trapping market in Cyprus would have saved the small... I feel like by me saying the small country, it kind of like the significance behind their country's economy is not save the country's economy.
Nice catch.
All right.
So then now you're bringing in economic issues. So before you're talking about social, right?
Yeah.
And now you're talking about economic, and that relates to what you're saying in your intro that you want to keep the two sides.
Yeah.
And even, I don't know what you think, but incorporating that into your thesis. That,
What? That.
So due to like economic and social reasons. Because I feel like you keep bringing those up.
So because I also have, so like this is my, like how would I do not blame Cyprus's people for taking part in illegal activities.
Yeah, and then you can say, I mean, just like a potential way, like due to, kind of like that. So making your argument more specific.
So due to tough,
thesis.
yeah. Illegal trapping has affected the social, economic, and cultural aspects of these citizens. That would be my last sentence. All right.
Yeah, or incorporating. Yeah, I like that because now you're not just saying like, oh, like.
What did I just say again?
I think you said the cultural, social, and economic. Or like.
Where I said the trapping industry or the illegal trapping industry has, or.
Shoot, I forget what you said. It was good.
Yeah, I know.
It'll come back to you as long as you write down little notes. But here you're making your argument more specific and you're catering it more towards what you're saying. So as a reader, when I'm saying it's like, oh, here's the social one, oh, here's the economic one. And it's more of an argument instead of, you know what I mean, just things.
Yeah. Okay, so that'd be good to add to.
Yeah, I like that.
And then next paragraph.
So the next one. Okay. Just so you know, we're running a little bit low on time.
Yeah.
So this might be the last one that we are able to go over today.
Right, could we then go to the conclusion?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so in the past 5 years, this is the last one, right? Okay. You increase songbirds. So what do you think you're adding in this paragraph? What does it say that the other ones don't?
All right, this is kind of just like an overall summary of my essay.
So something that I like to think about a lot in conclusions is that you don't want to say something that's already been said too much. Obviously, you want to like, say, like, oh, clearly, like this is not their fault.
Yeah.
But then you kind of want to add something new. And something that I've always learned is that in your conclusion, it's good to kind of have that overarching, like, so what of the essay? So I'm reading this, like, yes, it's not their fault, yes, it's not their fault. Why do I care as an outside reader?
Yeah, okay.
So, like, on a bigger level, like, why do you think this struggle is important?
Because I really think that I would say the people like need to have more control over their government and economy.
Yeah.
And that the EU is kind of denying this.
Yeah,
like
no, that's
them.
a big struggle, right? And it's more than just this one issue with the birds.
Yeah.
You're going into, this is like a classic clash with like government and like small countries, people and autonomy, right? And now you're getting into the politics of it all and you're taking a stance on it. And kind of bringing it up. Remember that ladder we were talking about?
Yeah.
You're bringing it like back up.
Fairly by EU. They have, would I just say like they have no control over their economy due to the harsh EU laws?
Yeah, I would just be careful with like no control and stuff like that. Those generalizations.
Have
like little control.
Yeah.
Because when you make those statements, it's really easy to go like, oh, like this one person like does this one thing.
Yeah, in class we've been like passing over that, and he like would question people who say all people.
Yeah, it's like a big. I don't know. It's really easy to do it though.
So like over their economy. Due to harsh EU laws. And what should I like, so I don't know if I should incorporate this in here or just not keep my, because I have to like make it, I guess, more of like why I feel this way and like what's the bigger stance on it. So
yeah. So it's all about what you think is relevant. And like my thing is, if it doesn't need to be said,
yeah,
because like a lot of it's already been said.
Okay.
So kind of like, where's your new stuff, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to like have a little bit of your argument, so it's not.
Should I give like a bigger, like the big picture of like each different topic?
Yeah, that's a big thing that I like talking about. So remember that ladder. So having that bigger picture in it kind of deepens the analysis and it adds more than just the facts. So now you're talking about issues that people can relate to, issues that are bigger than this one, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying like go to like this grand like, oh, the world peace or whatever in each paragraph.
Yeah.
But just bringing it up a little bit more and asking yourself those why questions. So like, why does this matter? Instead of just what is it?
And then for my closing, so everyone should, I don't know if this is like, everyone should look into both sides of the debate because they will realize that poachers are being wrongfully criticized and, or would I say being here or just perceived as fine? And are perceived as?
Perceived as fine. I would just be careful with the everyone again. And also.
We maybe? Or?
You can do we. But in these kinds of essays, I don't know how informal it is.
Yeah.
But you don't want to take that, or I would be careful in taking a role where it's like, oh, here's like my sentence. So instead, I don't know. I always try to be cautious of those.
Could I just say people?
Or like it can be important too, or something like that where it's not kind of like, I don't know, as a reader, kind of like, oh, like preaching at me.
Yeah, I would say it is important to look into both sides of this debate because they will, or is important to look in, because they will, or would that be is that the right pronoun for this?
What's the subject?
It is important to look into both sides of the debate because
or then your subject isn't people, your subject would be the like it.
So would it be
so it is important to look into both sides since
because the poachers are, or
I mean, you might have to rework the sentence a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's just a matter of playing off words.
All right.
But do you have any other questions?
No, thank you. I'm good.
Okay. And then, yeah, so you know what you're going to do with it. And we're here every day, 4 to 6.
All right.
So if you have any other questions?
Thank you.